So my name is Danielle. I'm a student recruiter at the University of Alberta for the College of Natural and Applied Sciences. So that includes the Faculty of Engineering. I am also the transfer designated recruiter. So I do all things transfer for all of these faculties. And today we're going to be going through a little bit about transferring into the Faculty of Engineering's Bachelor of Science in Engineering program from an engineering technologist program. We are very fortunate today to be joined by Jessica Stevens, who is from our Engineering Student Services. And then we also have Kylie and Mikhail joining us today from the Engineering Student Society. So they're going to talk all things student life, fun things that you can do on campus in engineering, and the community that they have going there. So we do kindly request that you save all of your questions for the end of the presentation. If anything comes up while we're going through the presentation, pop it into the Q&A function that's at the bottom of your screen. It looks like two chat bubbles. And then you can also upvote in there too. So if somebody else is asking a question that you really want to hear, just upvote that, and then we will answer the most asked questions first. So we can make sure that we are getting the information covered that you really want to know. I am going to start us off with a quick poll. Ooh. So if everybody could answer this for us, where you're joining us from, if it's NAIT, SAIT, somewhere else. Amazing. Everybody's from NAIT. Cool. That might help us out in answering questions, might not. Amazing. Thank you for answering. Okay, so I am presenting to you today from Edmonton, Alberta, which is home to the University of Alberta. The University of Alberta does acknowledge that we are located on Treaty 6 territory, and we respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all First Peoples of Canada, whose presence continues to enrich our vibrant community today. There are so many amazing reasons to study at the University of Alberta. Our institution boasts numerous achievements, including being ranked as a top 5 university in Canada and among the top 110 in the world. We're also currently ranked among the top 5 in Canada, according to Maclean's as well. So the Faculty of Engineering, the first U of A engineering class started in 1908 with only 5 students, and the faculty was later established in 1913. We have over 100 years of excellence and have over 4,000 undergraduate students and some 1,500 graduate students, with around 800 graduates each year, making us one of the largest engineering programs in North America. When it comes to engineering programs, we are ranked as #1 in Canada for petroleum engineering, with electrical, civil, and mechanical also within the top 10. Globally, our mining engineering program is ranked as #10 in the world, and then our chemical engineering program is also ranked as #1 nationally. So some pretty cool things happening in our engineering faculty. So why else would you choose engineering at the U of A? Well, we have received maximum accreditation for all programs from the Canadian Engineering Accreditation Board for the last 6 years, and we have the only accredited petroleum engineering school in Canada. We're also fully APEGA, the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists, and Engineers Canada accredited 4 times. We have $1.5 million in student scholarships annually, so lots of funding for you students to get every single year to continue your studies in engineering. And we have some very strong, long-standing ties to the industry. So for example, PCL and Stantec are both companies that are founded and run by U of A alumni. And we also have a world-renowned reputation for research, with more than $65 million in external research funding every single year in the Faculty of Engineering alone. That's a lot of money. Our professors are also some of the best in the world, and we have the oldest co-op program in Western Canada and one of the largest. The Faculty of Engineering is very proud to call the University of Alberta's North Campus home. This is where you're going to find a lot of amazing facilities for the Faculty of Engineering. North Campus is only minutes away from Edmonton's iconic White Ave, which offers some shops, restaurants, places for you to go hang out with some fellow students that you meet in your classes. And North Campus is also just 1 LRT stop away from downtown, 3 stops away from Museum and Arts District. You're going to experience a lot of diversity. And then North Campus also has lots of beautiful scenery, gorgeous walking paths, lots of places for studying. Now, if you're from NAIT, you might not need to live on campus, but lots of students do choose to live on campus. So totally up to you. If you do choose to live on campus, there's lots of great benefits. Zero commute, those 8 a.m. classes make very easy to get to those, and lots of support systems when living on campus. So in our engineering facilities, the Donadeo Innovation Center for Engineering, aka DICE, that's where you're going to find the engineering student services and support centers. We also have various different discipline-specific buildings, such as the mechanical engineering building, chemical and materials engineering building, and the electrical and computing engineering building. Our other engineering facilities include the machine shop, the pod, nanotechnology with the Nano Lab, which is one of the largest in Canada, and then some other research facilities on campus too. You can take a tour of North Campus by visiting uab.ca/tours as well. We also have the Elko Engineering Garage, which is a pretty cool space. I actually got to do a really cool chocolate making class at Christmas, so super fun to be in there. They have so many cool different pieces of equipment, lots of workspace, 3D printers. I got to see the virtual reality welding station. I know what it is now, which is cool. And they have some automated laser cutters, and it's all located on the second floor of the Engineering Teaching and Learning Complex, ETLC, and it is open to everybody to use. They have lots of different cool things in there to do. So we're going to transition now to talk about some of the Bachelor of Science and Engineering programs. So the Faculty of Engineering offers 21 fully accredited undergraduate programs, resulting in a Bachelor of Science and Engineering degree. All first-year engineering students are going to complete a common first year before entering their engineering discipline. Although depending on what discipline you're entering into, Jessica is going to talk about what that looks like for you as an engineering technology student. And the Faculty of Engineering also offers plenty of different graduate programs like Masters in Engineering, Masters of Science in Engineering, and opportunity to go even further with PhD studies. So I'm going to pass off to Jessica now to talk a little bit about transferring as an engineering technologist student.
Hello. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about the specifics of transferring into engineering at the U of A as an NTech student. We call you NTech, but basically it just means engineering technology transfer student. I'm happy that I'm here to chat with you about this. And if you do have any follow-up questions, I'll be happy to answer them at the end of the session here. So how your first year looks in your program is a little bit different. Well, it's different and similar to students transferring out of high school. So the difference is that you will be admitted directly into a discipline. So you are, as long as you meet the admission requirements, which are on a later slide here, you'll be admitted directly into your discipline that matches with the NAIT diploma program that you have or are just completing right now. And the similarity though is that you will still take the full first year course load. In your first year, you're just bypassing the qualifying part of first year. So these are the courses listed here that you'll be taking. So you take some introductory calculus courses, algebra, the 2 introductory chemistry courses, mechanics, physics, and then the Eng 100 and 160 are no credit classes. So they're introduction basically to engineering and then a design class in the winter term. So it is an intense, course load, but we have lots of supports on campus to ensure that you're successful in the program. So the specifics to get into our program, 3.5 GPA. So that's the GPA that we're looking for on the average of your 2-year diploma. So we take the average of all 4 terms or the 2 years of your program. And then we're also looking for you to have the high school classes that are required for admission, but we aren't looking at the average for those courses. You just need to have successfully completed those high school courses. or post-secondary equivalent. So we do have some post-secondary substitution courses that we will accept there as well. So you don't receive transfer credit for your diploma, but you are getting directly into a discipline. It is into the traditional route, and if you take the program with the full-time study, it will take you 4 years to complete. I often get questions about transferring into a different discipline. So that is a possibility in your first year or after your first year. We have a process set in place for students like yourselves that are in a discipline but taking the common first year. And you can apply to change your program after first year for second year. There are kind of some rules around that, in that if you do not get into the discipline that you were hoping for, you're just placed into the discipline that you qualify for, and that average would be based on your first year at the end at the U of A. But it does give you the opportunity, if you're interested in it, to get into a cooperative program or just a completely different discipline from what you were admitted into in first year. So this is just a list of equivalent programs to our engineering disciplines. So if everybody, I know there's a few more people in here now, but if you are all from NAIT, you're just going to look at that one column, and then it just corresponds to the discipline that you would be eligible for with your diploma. When you apply to engineering, if you have not attended the U of A before, you're not going to apply directly to the discipline. You're just going to be applying to the Faculty of Engineering. And then when your application is assessed and you're offered admission into our program, that's when we will move you into the corresponding discipline. Okay, so it's another layout of how the programs transfer into the U of A. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know exactly what all of these are, but they sound really cool, and I'm sure that the programs that you're in or you have taken at NAIT are pretty awesome, and will definitely relate to the work and studies that you do here at the U of A.
Cool, thank you, Jessica. So another little piece that is available to students is if you need a refresher before entering Faculty of Engineering, you can check out the Bridge to Engineering program. It is optional. It just kind of goes over some essential information that kind of helps students transfer into the university level courses and how they're structured and the material that they're going to go over. It does go during the summer months, and there are various different streams with different program ranges and everything, and it is delivered online. So I definitely suggest checking out that webpage if you are interested in the program at all. Next, I'm going to pass it off to our lovely Engineering Student Society people, Kylie and Mikhail.
Hello. Okay, so I'm just going to first talk generally on engineering student life as a whole, and then Kylie will let you know a bit about the ESS and why we're actually here for you. So when it comes to a student life at the U of A, the engineering students are fortunate to have many different options of how they can get involved. Some people but we actually have kind of 4 different avenues of getting involved. One that will be more up the alley of any technologist is our engineering student projects. So we currently have, I believe, 23 engineering student projects where they do technical work for competitions or just cars, sustainable renewables, space, everything of that sort. There's a student group for, and you can help out in that. It's purely really technical work, and we can tell you more about that as well. if that's not really, you want to get away from that, and that's why you're going into engineering, is to use that knowledge, but not have to do that as much. Whatever engineering discipline you get into has a discipline club associated with it, and that's where you can get more connected with your fellow discipline students. So for me in electrical, I was a member of the electrical engineering club. It's a lot more cozy. You get to do governance, but you also get to just hang out, have fun. If you want to help out in that manner, but not related purely to your discipline, there's a lot of social mission groups that we have present. So like listed here is diversity in engineering, which represents underrepresented groups such as LGBTQIA, but they also do some mental health advocacy. And then social missions, you could also consider Engineers Without Borders, which is very large, and other things of that sort. And then the last kind of group is just general hobby groups. So any sports clubs on campus, there's a lot of them. Games, from video games to card games. There's all of those present. I think I even saw a Yu-Gi-Oh club now. So all of those are really present and available to you, and they're available right from first year. Right from first year, you can huge events. There's usually carnivals held by the Students' Union, as well as an engineering specific carnival held by the ESS right in September, right when you would start your degree. Yeah. And speaking of the ESS, Kylie, what is that?
Yeah, so I guess first to introduce myself, I'm Kylie. I am a fourth year chemical engineering computer process control student in co-op, and I am a co-director of institutional outreach up in the ESS, in which the ESS is the Engineering Student Society. And in the Engineering Student Society, there are multiple different branches of things to get involved with. Specifically, me and Mikhail are under VP External. Mikhail is one of the co-VP Externals for the ESS. I am under Mikhail for Director of Institutional Outreach, and that's when we outreach to different colleges who transfer into the U of A, into the engineering transfer program. And we just basically help support these students in the transfer process, coming to U of A and not knowing what to do. We're here to support you in joining in with all how to be a student at the U of A and in engineering at the U of A. Other aspects with ESS involve like internal, social events, academics, communication, stuff like that, where each individual branch has their own jurisdiction in what they do for the student body. So things like student services and student events, planned events for students to come and enjoy outside of school and get involved with the ESS and other students in other disciplines. And there's several other types of branches as well, like internal and communications, who help just like make the ESS run more efficiently, because the ESS is a student body group run by students. So we need governments and roles and leadership to make it run efficiently. So we have different groups, different roles, different things that we do within the ESS that make us run efficiently and help support students in the Faculty of Engineering. I can also talk about being a part of CHES, which is the Chemical Engineering Student Society, which, as Mikhail said, was a discipline club. So I'm in the discipline of Chemical Engineering Student Club, and I am VP External. So I deal a lot with outreach with industry reps, and we actually have an event next week where we talk to industry reps and mingling and dinner and stuff like that. So yeah, basically, if you come to U of A for engineering, you can get involved with ESS and all the different discipline clubs and sport clubs and hobby clubs and get involved and meet new people.
Yeah, and I guess if you want to know of how to get involved or just how we can support you right now, is really, so Kylie and myself, we are transfer students, but not in the same way as we did our first year at a different university and then transferred for our second year. However, both Kylie and myself are aware of the difficulties of transferring and have friends who did the Eng Tech transfer, like you're considering by being in this meeting, who can support us. us and support you. So if you do we want to do this and get more support, a big thing, we don't handle academic questions, and that would probably be Jessica or Danielle here. But we can kind of answer some of those more, personal is not the right word, but questions that you would feel, I guess, unprofessional about sending to them. You can ask us and we can give you an honest answer there. If you do want to reach out to us, you can email Kylie Kylie, can you pop your email in the chat? Probably the institutional outreach one, not the personal. Or if interested, we do have a transfer student Discord. As I said, it's primarily those other types, but you're welcome to join as well. Kylie, do you want to do a poll to see if anyone's interested?
Yeah, I don't know how to do a poll.
Danielle, how do we do that?
I don't have a poll set up, but if everybody has access to the chat, if they can put in if they are interested in a Discord, just say interested in Discord or anything like that, then we can
And
see
you
that.
won't hurt our feelings if you're not. Yeah. So if any of you do, it will link it as well. If not, you feel free to email those questions on just general student life, or as I said, questions that you want to ask, but might not feel comfortable asking to Danielle or Jessica or anyone that you would label more as a professional representative of the university. Because Kylie and I are students. That's an important thing to note. We are students like you would be. Yeah, I think that's really everything. As I'll just, if there's anything at all, feel free to reach out via that email.
Amazing. Thank you both. I always love hearing everything you have going on and everything that's happening in engineering. There's a lot always. So like Kylie and Mikhail both said, your health and well-being are very important to the Faculty of Engineering. There's lots of resources on campus to help. There's different tutoring availabilities, different support centers for math and physics and chemistry and all those kinds of things. There's also mental health and counseling services on campus for those that need it. And the student services team located in DICE that Jessica is a part of is always there to support students and always there for academic advising and planning and things like that. So definitely utilize those resources on campus. On top of that, there's also lots of prayer and meditation spaces on campus as well, and different physical supports as well as mental health supports on campus. So definitely take advantage of those. So if you have not applied already, definitely do so. Go to uab.ca/apply if you are ready to apply. So that's the place to start. Everything's going to start on the U of A webpage. It's going to take you somewhere else, and then you're going to come back. So don't get don't get all turned around when the page gets you all over the place. The applications are open and close on March 1st. Also, as a transfer applicant, there are transfer-specific scholarships that are open as of today, and they close on March 31st as well. So again, as those requirements that Jessica already went over, those grade 12 subject requirements, that 3.5 GPA, March 1st is the deadline. June 15th is the document deadline for all final official transcripts as well. And then a few things that are happening coming up. So Engineering Student Stories is a virtual event that's happening on February 29th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It's open to all students that are interested in engineering. We also have transfer student drop-in advising that's happening right now. The next one coming up is February 20th from 3 to 4 p.m. Any other events will be posted on uab.ca/recruitment events for any upcoming info sessions or anything like that. And then please connect with us if you have any questions at all. Advising sessions are always going to be posted on uab.ca/advising. There's one-on-one faculty-specific advising as well as that group transfer advising. And then quick email questions can be sent to enginfo@ualberta.ca. We are typically answering the questions within the same week that we get them. So that's the best place to go for any specific questions that you may have. And then a lot of information is available on the engineering webpage, which is at uab.ca/engineering. So thank you everybody for joining us. We do have about half an hour for questions. So if there are any questions, either put them in the chat or put them in the Q&A function, and we can answer them as needed. Nobody's got any questions after all of that. Oh, amazing. We got one. Okay. Are there any systems in place for people that want to get some work experience as a technologist before going back to university? Jessica, maybe.
So yeah, there isn't anything holding you back from going and working in your area of study from NAIT before you apply to the U of A. I'd say half of the students that are coming in from the technology programs are, transferring right that next year. And the other half, some have worked for 10 years or more, and then decide to come back and complete their engineering degree. So yeah, it's definitely something that you can do.
Amazing. And then one in the chat, no transfer credits, question mark? I don't know if you want to explain the reasoning.
Yes, that's correct. So we don't accept any transfer credit from the technology programs through NAIT or SAIT at this time. But we do, the feedback that we get from students who have come in through those programs is that, the information and the experience that they've gained from their technology programs definitely has supported them and helped them in their engineering degree, but you don't get any formal transfer credit.
Another one kind of going along with that, since most of these diplomas are 2-year programs, what if someone transfers after the first year of their program?
You can apply to transfer after your first year, but you're not going to be considered this engineering technologist transfer applicant. You would just be a transfer applicant. Most likely, if you've only completed the first year, you would be reviewed solely on your high school courses because we wouldn't be able to calculate an average for you for the transfer group. So you would have to meet the competitive high school average, which I don't know much about high school admissions, but yeah.
And then if my cumulative GPA is below a 3.5 in their first year, but they're averaging a 3.8 in their second year, what does that look like?
So 3.5 is the GPA that we look for. The cumulative GPA is over the average over the 4 terms or the full 2 years. Yeah, it's 3.5 is the average. So if you don't meet that average, we do look at your high school at that same time. So if you did meet the high school competitive average, we may be able to admit you in that way. But for the NTech group and the technology transfer agreement, it's a 3.5.
And then is there any part-time degrees in engineering rather than full-time?
That's a good question. So you can complete your program part-time. I mean, I guess it depends on what you consider part-time. But you have 6 years from when you enter your discipline to complete your degree. So for a traditional student, that's 2 extra years for your program completion. So you could take a lighter course load each year.
Any other questions? I'm not sure what this student is referring to, but if you do know, Jessica, does U of A offer BTech?
I'm not sure what that is. Maybe if you can, like a
Clarify.
Bachelor of Technology. I'm not sure what that is, but the engineering degrees are a Bachelor of Science degree in engineering.
And then would any kind of work experience change entrance requirements?
No.
Any other student life questions on campus? Maybe that Kylie and Mikhail could answer. Anything else about admissions? Do you want the Discord link? That's the other thing we don't know. Just doing the long teacher pause now. See if anything pops up. If nobody has any other questions, you're more than welcome to head out. If anything pops up after this, again, please reach out to us. Go back to the slide on communication with us. Does U of A accept certification?
I'm not exactly sure what that is referring to. Is that something that you get through your technology diploma? Yeah, I would need a little bit more information.
Oh, like any other diploma?
Other than your diploma?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, we have different types of admission categories to get into engineering, if that's what it is. These 2-year technology diploma programs are the only ones that we accept in this way. Like, you complete the 2-year diploma, get the 3.5, have the high school when you get into your discipline. That is the only that's the criteria for this particular transfer route. We do have other ways to get into the program as a transfer applicant, though, which are, we have agreements with different colleges in Alberta and BC. So Red Deer Polytechnic, and other ways to get in as a transfer applicant, but we don't have any other diploma programs that we accept. I don't know if that answered your question, hopefully.
Any other lingering questions out there? If you are an APEGA certified technologist, does that help in admission?
No, the only things that we look at for admission into the program are going to be your cumulative GPA and that you meet the high school courses. That's all we look at. We don't have any additional criteria.
I would say like any other life experience type things, volunteer work experience, that's really good in your scholarship application. So it's still usable for getting money to pay for schooling. It's just not going to be used in the admissions into the program directly.